This is just a very quick heads up before we get into the video. During the red fight, there is a single censored swear. I know I'm known for being family friendly in the videos, so I do want to give you that very quick heads up now. So at the very end of this challenge, there is a single swear word that is fully bleeped out, but do be cautious if you are offended by that kind of language. Previously on the last Pokemon Crystal challenge run, you must have met over their love for electric rats. And coming up, goodness me, I need to keep an eye on my PP in future, don't I? Welcome along to 4 moves. This is the series where we grab a Pokemon, we give it 4 moves, and we see just how quickly we can defeat a red. Now, unlike Supermon, Hidden Power and Return are available once again in these challenges, and this series is designed for those Pokemon who otherwise would have had a bad time in the Supermon challenge, but would absolutely benefit from getting their 4 moves early. And when we see Magneton's Learn Set, I think you'll see why this is a prime candidate for the 4 moves challenge. So yes, as I said in the intro, Magneton is absolutely a perfect candidate for 4 moves. I was initially going to run this as a Supermon, but then I took a look at the Learn Set, and I realised we probably wouldn't have an answer for Jasmine, so we'd be hitting our heads over and over waiting for that time where Tri-Attack got a freeze on the Steelix and we were able to chip away at it. So instead it's going into this series, the 4 moves series, where we do at least get the option to give it Hidden Power. Now, much like in Supermon, we are going to pick 4 moves for the challenge, and we are going to stick with those 4 moves throughout the entirety of this challenge. Now, I have been doing a bit of thinking, and I think the first 2 moves in this one are going to be very obvious. We're going to be going for Thunderbolt, and we will be going for Hidden Power. Thunderbolt will get us through most of the early game, and then Hidden Power will be the answer that we need for Jasmine. And then for the other 2 moves, I'm a little bit stumped, honestly. There was part of me thinking maybe Rain Dance, and then people would expect that to be paired with Thunder. But you've got to remember we are against the clock on this challenge, so setting up a Rain Dance every single time we want to use our main attacking move would slow us down. So I think Rain Dance on its own, and then potentially Tri-Attack. Tri-Attack is mostly going to be there for Red's Tri-Attack is mostly going to be there as a spammable move for Red Snorlax when we make it that far, because if it sets up an Amnesia, we're going to want to try and incapacitate it in some way, and having the option for a freeze or a burn could help us get through a little bit quicker, but for the most part, Tri-Attack is just going to be a little bit vestigial. We should be fairly okay with both Hidden Power Fire and with Thunderbolt. They are the 4 moves I am going for. Let me know down in the comments if you'd have gone for a different set of moves, and more importantly, why you would have gone for those moves. I'm sure this isn't the best answer, but it is the answer that my brain came up with for this challenge. So we will now commit to those moves. Thunderbolt's going to be in slot 1, of course it's going to be in slot 1. It is going to be one of our best moves throughout the course of this challenge. We will plonk Hidden Power in 2nd spot. Then it will be Rain Dance in slot number 3, and then finally Tri-Attack in slot number 4. And this one, we're actually going for only moves that are available in its Gen 2 Learn Set. Normally in these 4 moves and in the Supermon challenges, if we're running a Gen 1 Pokemon, we end up with a Gen 1 TM snuck in there, but this one is all about the Gen 2 Learn Set. And now that we have our 4 moves, the challenge can begin. The timer starts as soon as we leave Professor Elm's lab, and it will not finish until we have defeated Red. Now, this is a time challenge, and that does mean, of course, that we can take as many resets as we like. It isn't just about getting through in 1 life, but it is about trying to get through as quickly as we possibly can. So I've got to try and be as efficient as I can with the movements, got to try and make as few mistakes as possible, and I've got to try and not focus on that timer, because the more you focus on the timer, the more you mess up, and the less likely it is that you will do well in the challenge run. I've seen it time and time again where I've looked at that timer too much, I've ended up succumbing to the pressure, and then I have failed at the last moment. Now, in this challenge, the rival will have the Cyndaquil line. We are weak to fire, so it was a bit of a no-brainer. And you never know, Rain Dance might come in useful later on. But for now, we should be able to one-shot Cyndaquil with Thunderbolt, and we can start making our way back to Professor Elm's laboratory. I think the plan for this one is to skip Sprout Tower entirely and to just keep going as quickly as we can. I'll try and incorporate as many of our speedy strategies as we have come up with. We have named the rival now, we can leave, and we can start making our way towards Violet City. Now, in theory, we should have a very, very smooth first gym battle, but if we don't one-shot the Pidgeotto, or if the Pidgeotto outspeeds us, we will succumb to Mudslap. We are going to be quad weak to Mudslap. Difference between this and the Supermon challenge is we can be over-leveled if we like. There is no level cap in our time challenges. We can get as many experience points as we like. And sometimes it will pay to spend a little bit of time to do some early leveling in order to go into particular gyms a little bit over-leveled. And goodness me, the number of encounters we're getting on this particular early game, I think we're going to be over-leveled whether we want to or not, just by virtue of not being able to go 4 steps without encountering anything. And now after just a couple more wild encounters and doing a quick PP heal after his first 2 gym trainers, we can take on Falkner. He's our first gym leader to get a flying type specialist who led with Pidgey. Pidgey went down to 1, we grew to level 10, and Pidgeotto comes out and goes away straight away. We obtain the Zephyr badge in a time of 4 minutes and 11 seconds. That's the first of 16 gyms all defeated. We get the call from Elm. He's not going to give us the egg though here in the Pokemon Center. Here in 4 moves, much like in Supermon, we run with the HM items and we get ourselves a key item escape rope there. That will act as our substitutes for Dig throughout the course of this challenge. Because of course we don't have the HM friends, but we still do want to get out of caves. Now we can start making our way towards Azalea Town. And again, I think we're going to have a fairly simple ride throughout the next parts of this challenge. Hidden Power Fire is going to be super effective against Bugsy's Cocoon Pokemon. And then we've got Thunderbolts for his Scyther. And now as we're making our way through Union Cave, it's actually a very strange experience playing Pokemon Crystal against the clock again. For 3 years, literally the only way I'd play Crystal unless we were doing a Nuzlocke was against the clock, and then to suddenly have my main content not be against the clock and then have to try and swap back to being against the clock, I'm a little bit thrown. I'm feeling the pressure more than I normally would for a timed run, but I'm sure I will settle back down fairly quickly. Now, we don't need any kind of PlayStation Network berry in the run today because we are the Steel type and we are immune to poison, but we will still need to do a very quick shop. We'll get 7 repels and then we will get a few super potions just so that we don't have to Pokemon Center heal all of the time. I think this part of the challenge will be fairly easy for our Magneton. I can't see Team Rocket posing any threat whatsoever, especially because their big main Pokemon is a Coughing that has no special defense. And they've got a bunch of rats and poison-type Pokemon in the interim. And these rats aren't going to be able to do anything. Neither are their poison types. So I think we're going to be in for a fairly good time. In fact, the only thing that can slow us down is a bloody wild Zubat here in this cave. Like we thought, none of the rockets stood a chance so far. But I have paused here because I've realised I've made a big error. I meant to go for Hidden Power Water. I don't know what caused me in the intro to go for Hidden Power Fire, but I meant to go for Hidden Power Water, so I have now changed that. Because we are stepping up in our stats instead of going down, we always allow the change of Hidden Power type, providing Hidden Power wouldn't have changed the outcome. We've used it once, that was at a Pidgey. Hidden Power Water would have done the exact same damage, so that does not matter. But I thought I'd clear things up, and actually that kind of makes more sense with going with Rain Dance, doesn't it? Having both Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Water. Genuinely don't know what got in my head there to do Hidden Power Fire. Gonna blame the brain fog of these new meds. But with that out of the way, let us beat up this final Rocket's Grunt. He's got a Coughing and I reckon it's going to be a one-shot. There we go. Very nice and simple Team Rocket section. Kurt miraculously heals. And we'll get ourselves in to our second gym. Now this one will be fairly fine as well, although that thing I said about hidden power being super effective against Bugsy's cocoons. That is now absolute tosh. That is not going to be the case, but I think we'll have a good time regardless. I don't think there's going to be anything in this early game, but now with all of Bugsy's gym trainers taken care of, we can take on Bugsy, our second gym leader, Bug-type specialist led with Metapod that goes down. Kakoona's going to be a one-shot. Now, will we one-shot the Scyther, I wonder? The answer is yes. Always good to see we grow up to level 18, and we do obtain our second badge, the Hive badge, in 8 minutes and 57 seconds. This is already going a heck of a lot quicker than our initial Magneton challenge. And we're going to go straight into rival number 2 now. He leads with Ghastly, and he swapped, and he's got one shot. That was a really smart play there, wasn't it? One of the rival's finest. We'll get rid of his Ghastly, we'll get rid of his Zubat as well, and he has disappeared, presumably walking off in a shame. And now, after a quick PP heal in the Pokemon Center, we are ready to reunite the bird and take on Ilex Forest. I do like Ilex Forest. I think it's nice to have a forest without any mandatory trainers. In fact, Gen 2 seems to do that an awful lot, where they create a lot of places that would be reused in Pokemon settings later, and had been used in Generation 1 already, but they decided to go without any mandatory trainers at all, which, for Johto's level curve, might not be the most positive thing in the world, but I definitely like the experience. Now, we are going to have to use an extra repel, just so that we don't have to take on Gina. Grass is a bit of an Achilles heel. I'm very glad that grass types don't come up too often in this challenge. And I really don't understand actually why grass resists electric. If somebody much smarter than me can give me the logic, I'd be very, very grateful. Because I've thought about it a few times, and I just don't seem to get why it resists electric. But then again, biology was never my strongest suit in school. In school I was fairly good at physics, fairly good at chemistry as well, but then when it came to biology, I think a lot of it's because I'm squeamish and I don't really like thinking about the way living things work, if that makes sense. My brain just switched off a lot of the time. I didn't have the most pleasant experience in biology. A lot of that as well came down to just not gelling with the teacher. And can you believe, actually, in school I was good at maths. I don't know what's happened in the goodness knows how many years since I left school. How long would it have been now? About 16, 17 years since I left school, but my brain and maths are now just not friends. Grabbing the coin case on the underground does now mean we can go and grab the rental Abra as well. It will act exactly the same as a regular Abra, but it goes in the bag instead of being a Pokemon in the party. Now, we do have to do a trip up to the edge of the Sudowoodo before we take on Whitney, because it is a little bit quicker to take this section on now than to double back twice after Whitney. So that just means we're going to get a little bit over-leveled. And I do like the variety of Pokemon you get here on this route. I think it's one of the most diverse you can actually see in Generation 2. So that means if we do need to grab a level or two, generally around Whitney, I don't have to worry too much about who we are going to take on in order to get that level. Now, we are going to grab the Quick Claw just in case we need it. We have 70 in speed, which is good, but there are going to be certain times where I think we might be outsped by the opponent, so it's better to be safe than sorry. And now this is going to be a very good test of our special attack here. If we can one-shot this Kadabra, I will be very happy. And I am very happy. We one-shot the Kadabra. Let's chat with Floria and get back to Goldenrod. So that is now our first pass north of Goldenrod, all done and dusted. That means we can enter into Whitney's gym. Now, I'm not expecting to struggle here in the slightest. It's a normal type gym, we have the steel type, and on top of that, Whitney's signature move is, of course, Rollout, and Rollout is going to be resisted by us. Let's see how we get on now. This is Whitney, a normal type specialist, led with Clefairy that's already fainted, and yeah, we don't outspeed the Miltank, but we can two-shot. Very, very nice there. We will then let Whitney have her whinge, and will obtain the plain badge in 14 minutes and 16 seconds. Let us get the heck out of here now. We do need to make a very brief trip next door into the flower shop. where this eavesdropping so-and-so will give us a squirts bottle, and then we will take a quick heal in the Goldenrod Pokemon Center, because we are going to do Quick Safe Ecruteak. Now, if you are not familiar with Quick Safe Ecruteak, we completely bypass Ecruteak City on our first pass through. We are going to make our home in Olivine City instead. And the reason for that is that Ecruteak Pokemon Center has a very, very long cutscene. So if we can skip it, we automatically save some time. And by going this way as well, we do end up getting an extra heal point, so we don't have to manage our PP quite as much as if we didn't do this routing. Now, some people are a little bit skeptical because you do have to cycle all the way back from Olivine to Ecruteak City, but as we will demonstrate in this challenge, it isn't actually that long. It's not a far cycle at all from Olivine to Ecruteak. Now, here in this Pokemon Center, we're going to get ourselves 12 Super Repels so that we don't forget. We will get the phone number for the Burly Man straight away now, and we'll also do our first PP heal here in Olivine Pokemon Center, and it's time to ascend the Lighthouse. Now, if you're an electric type in Pokemon Crystal, the Lighthouse is a very, very good area for you. In fact, I think this gentleman here might be the only trainer in the entire Lighthouse who doesn't have at least one Pokemon that is weak to the electric type. Connie over here, for instance, has a Marill. That is going to be weak to the electric type. We'll fall through the floor and break our legs here. And then while we're recovering, Terrell here with a Poliwhirl. He is also weak to the electric type. I don't quite get why they put so many Pokemon weak to a single type in one place, but we're definitely not going to complain. Now, does this sailor does have a Poliwag or a Poliwhirl, doesn't he? Fairly certain about it. Yeah, there we go. Leaving it till last, but there is the Pokemon weak to electric from him. We'll grab this extra Super Repel, taking us up to an unlucky 13. Have a little chat with Jazz. We will then get the rare candy and we will use our escape rope to get out of here, and we are going to go for our second heal here in Olivine's Pokemon Center. After that, it is a very, very quick cycle back up through Routes 38, and we find ourselves back in Ecruteak City, where we're going to go straight into the Burnt Tower. We'll plonk on a repel, make sure we don't get any encounters, and we will take on the rival for a third time. This time he is going to lead with Haunter, so let's hope that we can one-shot this so that we don't end up being cursed. And up second is Quilava. We'll use Hidden Power. It is a one-shot because we've got huge special attack. We'll one-shot the Magnemite, grow to level 28, and then his Zubat stands 0 chance whatsoever. That is Rival 3 all defeated just shy of 19 minutes. We'll fall through the floor and we will now release the beasts, and we'll get the heck out of here. Defeating Rival 3 means we can now take on Morty's gym. We've got just one gym trainer left to go. And I've not said it in a while, but these medium sprites really do give me the heebie-jeebies. They're my least favourites of all of the trainer sprites. They look like they're screaming out in pain, and it terrifies me every time. I do kind of have to avert my eyes. Anyway, this is Morty. He is our next gym leader together today. A Ghost-type specialist led with Ghastly that went down. Haunter goes down in the same way, and here comes Gengar. We outspeed and we knock it out in one. That leaves the last Haunter left to go. Another one shot, and that means Morty is done. Time of 20 minutes and 45 seconds for the Fog Badge. There's just one thing left to do here in Ecruteak as well now, and that is take on the Kimono Girls. We've saved them till last. We do need to take them on in order to cross bodies of water, and it's nice to see that we are able to one-shot the Flareon there. Will we be able to one-shot the Espeon? The answer is a resounding yes. That is incredibly good news. Umbreon could put up a bit more resistance. We'll have to see. Maybe not. I mean, we were 14 levels higher than the Umbreon, but Umbreon is known to be the most specially defensive of all the evolutions. Vaporeon goes down in just one hit, as we would expect, and that just leaves Jolteon left to go. We're probably going to two-shot this, so we'll just use a couple of hidden powers. We'll defeat it, we'll grow to 32, and we will grab the raft from the man staring at the stage. With that, it's time to keep on going east. And now, even though we've done everything that we need to in Ecruteak City, this is still part of the quick save Ecruteak routing, because we can keep on going east all the way up towards the Lake of Rage. We're going to take on a few strategic trainers while we're at it. This Slowbro, for instance, excellent experience. We might as well take on this Nidoking as well, because we've got Hidden Power Water and huge special attack, and it will get us up to level 33. Now up here we are going to have a little chat with the Gyarados. We'll engage it in battle, and we will one-shot it with a Thunderbolt. Absolutely no need to be concerned about the Gyarados in this particular challenge, because it is of course quad weak to the electric type. We'll have a chat with Lance, and now we'll make our way over towards where the rare candy is and the hidden powerhouse, although we won't need to take on the hidden powerhouse today, because we do not learn hidden power via TM. All the TMs are disabled. Doesn't matter what we try and do, we will never be able to teach a TM in this version of Pokemon Crystal. Same with catching Pokemon, I've completely disabled that as well. So the only things we need are this full restore, and then through a couple of cut trees, bike shop interrupters notwithstanding, we will be able to get our second, I beg your pardon, rare candy of the challenge, and we will then teleport all the way back to Olivine City. So we have just cut out a huge load of movement that we would have to have done later on. And now our next priority is going to be getting the air balloon so that we can fly anywhere we like. Having the freedom of movement on this map will make a lot of difference for saving bits of time and making sure that we get all the bits and pieces that we need in order to complete this challenge. But to do that, we are going to need to get through what could be a fairly tricky gym. This is Chuck's fighting type gym, and that critical hit there could have taken a reset off us. We are not out of the woods yet though, because we do have the second trainer in this tag team left to go, and he's gone for Thunder Punch. We got very lucky there, but I do believe that the Black Belt AI is just pick any attacking move. They don't consider type matchups or anything like that. They are semi-random in that sense. Now we get through the final gym trainer there with no issues whatsoever, and that brings us on to Chuck. Fighting type specialist, leads with Primeape, and Primeape is the more dangerous of the two Pokemon, just because it's not weak to our Thunderbolt. But as it turns out, neither of them is particularly scary. We defeat Chuck with 2 one-shots to get the Storm Badge in 25 minutes and 40 seconds. That means we can have a little chat with Chuck's wife, I'll pick up some bits, and I'll figure out who we're battling next. Bits successfully grabbed for this challenge. I ended up going to New Bark Town, and we picked up the rare candy there. Picked up the rare candy and the PP up from Violet City. I got the Mystic Water from Cherry Grove City and the Nugget and rare candy south of Goldenrod. And then I put all of the money that we could into vitamins. We were able to get 6 calcium in total. So that means we now have 23,400 in our special stat experience. And I have a feeling that might just be enough to see us through Jasmine. She is our 6th gym leader together today, a Steel-type specialist who leads with Magnemite. Interesting, Hidden Power is not a one-shot on the Magnemite. It's going to be a 2-shot on the Steelix regardless, and I don't think we have to worry too much. This is going to be a teeny tiny time sink, but we are not going to get knocked out. We'll get rid of the second Magnemite, and we defeat Jasmine to earn her badge in 27 minutes and 59 seconds. And having 6 badges means it's time to deal with the rocket section here in Mahogany Underground, but we are very close to the end of the section already. We only have the final executives and the electrode left to go, and hopefully they won't cause too many issues whatsoever. So let's engage this final executive in battle. She leads with an Arbok, so we will go for a Thunderbolt against the Arbok and knock it out in 1. We don't have anything too great for this Gloom, so we're just going to go for a couple of Thunderbolts again. And that just leaves Murkrow left to go. It's weak, of course, to the electric type, so we knock it out. And now we have to deal with 3 Electrode. I feel bad for these Electrode every single time I have to battle them because it's not their fault. They're trapped here being used as generators, and I kind of wish we didn't have to battle them because we don't have anything fantastic for them. I think that, even with the Mystic Water, Hidden Power could be a range on them, but we will have to see. We've only got one of them left. I could be wrong this entire time. Looks like I am. Looks like it is a one-shot. That does mean that Lance is going to give us a Bath Plug. That will let us cross the single whirlpool that we'll be going through in this challenge, and it's straight into Mahogany Gym, where after taking care of Border Douglas, we can move on to Price, and we can count our lucky stars that Price does not have a ground type move on his Piloswine. He led with Seal, that went down in 1, Dugong goes down in the same way, and then we have Hidden Power Water for the Piloswine, we knock it out as well, and that means we get our 7th badge, the Glacier badge, in 33 minutes and 28 seconds. We're getting that dreaded call from Elm now. I'm going to ignore it, and we're going to go through the Ice Path. There isn't too much useful to pick up in the Ice Path on this particular challenge. However, we will pick up the vitamins to use on our Magneton, and we can also pick up the Rest TM to sell for even more vitamins. And then we get to do some of my favourite movements in all of Gen 2 next. We fly to Blackthorn City. We're going to buy our Max Repels now so that we don't forget them. We'll pick up 12, and then we can use the rest of the Repel steps to get an Elixir here, and then if we move very carefully, we can also get a Nugget. And you'll never guess what we'll do with that Nugget. We will get even more vitamins still. The good news is we're already about halfway through the rocket section. The bad news is that means we've got another half to go. But interrupting them is, of course, Rival 4. This time he's going to lead with Golbat. That's great for us because it means we can go straight for a Thunderbolt. Up second is going to be Quilava. We'll use the Thunderbolt, save the super effective text. And then he's got a Magnemite of his own. We'll use a Hidden Power. And up next is Haunter. We'll continue using Hidden Power for the Haunter. And finally he has a Sneasel. That goes down to a single Thunderbolt, and we have defeated the rival for a 4th and penultimate time. Right, there's more rockets to go. Let's skip to the end. Once we get through this executive, we'll never have to think about Team Rocket again in this challenge. He does lead with a Houndour, which we'll use Thunderbolt against. Up second is going to be Houndoom, and that's another Thunderbolt to the face. And then we'll use the Radio Tower as a Lightning Rod, so that we can Thunderbolt the 3rd Pokemon as well. And with that, Team Rocket are gone once and for all in this challenge. We can leave, we never have to think about Goldenrod again, we'll get the pink bow for our Tri-Attack just in case we need it, and we will also get the radio card. The answer to this questionnaire is 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. And that is the reason why we have Team 112, 12 as well. We'll now get ourselves over to Blackthorn, where we have our final gym leader of Johto. And that gym leader is, of course, the one and only Claire, the Dragon-type specialist of Blackthorn City. And this is probably going to be one of those battles that's a lot of trial and error, because we don't have a way to reliably one-shot her Dragonair. So we're just going to keep brute forcing, and eventually we will get the luck we need. She didn't lead with Thunderbolt that time, which was with Thunderwave rather that time, which was fantastic. We get the Gen 2 miss on this one. Let's see, can we status this Dragonair? No, but we are not getting paralysed. That's why we have the Peruscure Berry. Now for the Kingdra, we'll start off with a Tri-Attack. We burnt it. She's probably going to go for a full heal. Never mind. We just knock her out regardless. This is not the end of our struggle to get the badge, though. We are going to very quickly heal up some health because we have to get in to the Dragon's Den. So let us use a Repel as well, make sure that we've got the steps, and we'll get inside. And who do we get greeted by but this Git again? I really do not like Darren. We're going to Thunderbolt his Dragonair. You can rap all you like, mate. We are better than you in every single way. That's why you're hiding out in a dragon's den, because you're a smelly, smelly little man. Anyway, we get through the whirlpool, and we are on to the questionnaire. We will answer 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Goodness me, we skipped through some of those questions there a little bit quicker. It didn't even register for me on my screen. But that does mean that Claire enters into the Dragon's Den, and we get our next badge in 47 minutes and 10 seconds. And with that, we've got all 8 of our Johto badges. Off towards the Pokemon League we go. Now that Claire battle was a prime example of something I never see anybody talking about in challenge running, and that is the usefulness of having an extra move on your learn set that isn't going to do that much damage. It's quite often won't even do half damage on the Pokemon you're trying to knock out, because those kind of moves are fantastic for avoiding healing loops. It just so happens that Tri-Attack has some brilliant secondary effects as well, but if we'd have gone for Thunderbolt straight off the bat in that Claire battle, we would have lost quite a lot of time because Claire would have gone to heal, so it would have been 3 shots instead of 2 shots. And if you mount that up throughout the course of a challenge run, you can easily save a minute or so just by using a worse move. And that seems so counterintuitive when you first think about it, but I really like that that's the case. And now after defeating Joyce, because there are only 2 things certain in a Pokemon Crystal challenge run, the first being that Lance will completely lie about his type speciality, and the second is that Joyce will lock onto you like a homing missile, we are ready to get into Victory Road and take on the final rival battle. This time he is going to lead with Sneasel, so let's see how we get on. Sneasel comes out first, we will knock it out in 1 shot, and up second is going to be Typhlosion. We'll use another Thunderbolt to take care of it in a single hit, and here comes his own Magneton. We'll use Hidden Power. We have been paralysed annoyingly, but we don't really have any Pokemon coming up against us now, which should prove to be a big threat. In fact, it's just a Kadabra left to go. Future Sight fails. No, wait, there's Golbat as well. Parafusion isn't great. We could go down here. Flinch Parafusion, you scumbag. Please hit. Yes, we've survived on 4. Your dirty tricks do not work, Mr. Rival. We can get out of here and pretend that battle never happened. We'll heal because we absolutely need it this time. We'll get our 4 full restores, and then we'll park ourselves in front of the league. Now, before taking on the league, we will look at our stats and make some predictions. We're shaping up like this. Level 52 with 137 HP. We've got Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Water, Rain Dance, and Tri-Attack. 104 in attack, 136 in defense, 169 in special attack, 117 in special defense, and 114 in speed. And now, as for our time in the league, I think we'll be fine against Will. Maybe his Executor could throw a little bit of a spanner in the works. I think we've got no problems at all against Koga. Then Bruno could prove to be problematic. He's going to have a quad super effective dig on his Hitmontop. Cross Chop is going to ruin our day. He's got Fire Punch on his Hitmonchan if it survives the Thunderbolt. And Hitmonlee's got High Jump Kick. Everything could go wrong at Bruno. Karen, we never know. I think we should get through with enough resets. We might get lucky first time. And then we've got Lance. Lance should be okay. I don't know if we're going to one-shot his Dragonite though. And it's a bit of a toss-up between using the Peruscure Berry for the Vileplume at Karen or using it for Lance. Either way, we could have a tough time. I think we will save it for Lance though, just because he's got 2 Pokemon that can paralyze us versus Karen's just single 1. But there is nothing more we can do. Let's get in there and we'll see what happens. This is Will, our first league member, a Psychic type specialist who leads with Xatu. Thunderbolt knocks it out in 1. Executor is up second. We're going to go for a pair of Thunderbolt there, and we have been seeded. Slowbro is third. We will one-shot this with Thunderbolt, so we don't need to worry about Amnesia. Probably not going to be a one-shot on the Jinx, or I could just be proven to be a liar. Not unhappy about being proven to be a liar there, because we get through Will with no damage, and we can move ourselves on to Koga. Koga is our second league member, a Poison-type specialist, who leads with Ariados. And it's a one-shot with Thunderbolt to get us started against the Ariados. He sends out Fortress next. Fortress doesn't resist Thunderbolt, so it goes down straight away. I think the hardest part of this battle is over now. We do have a Mug to deal with though, so we'll use a Tri-Attack into a Thunderbolt. Do we outspeed the Crobats? That's an interesting question. And the answer is yes. So Koga was very, very easy. That brings us on to the one I am worried about. It's Bruno. We got very lucky to have a fairly clean level there, so I've used all of our rare candies in preparation for Bruno. We'll see how we get on now. We do one-shot the Hitmontop. That's very, very nice. We get through Hitmonlee in one hit as well. What about the Hitmonchan? It gives us a bit of damage from Mach Punch, but nothing too terrible. Now, how about this Machamp? We get rid of it in one. I am feeling a huge sense of relief because we can one-shot Onix with Hidden Power Water, and we are through Bruno in 53:47. So I've done the prep work for Karen. We're holding on to a Bitterberry now, and we've done the HP up strategy. Let's see how much damage we can do against this Umbreon. A fair amount, and Sand Attack has failed. That brings us on to her Houndoom second. Interesting. We'll get rid of it straight away, and here comes the Vileplume. This is the one I've been worried about. Stun Spore gets a Gen 2 miss. That is fantastic. Onto the Gengar we go. We get rid of it in one hit. That just leaves Murkrow. We will demolish that as well. First try Karen in 54:42. That means there is only one obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame now. It is time for Lance, the Liar with the Flyers. We are holding on to the Persico Berry now, just in case. Let's see how we do. We know we can get rid of this Gyarados in one hit. Is he going to send out Zard next? No, he's not. Here comes the level 50 Dragonite, though. He can Healing Loop all he likes on this thing. Now, is Zard going to be third? No, it's another Dragonite. Goodness me. We'll use Thunderbolt, and we crit. What is going on? We're not getting paralysed in this battle now. There goes the Thunder Wave, which we have the Persico Berry for, and we've got... Oh, sugar. I've messed up. Ran out of Thunderbolt. It's fine. Hidden Power Water should do the trick. Goodness me, I need to keep an eye on my PP in future, don't I? But that does mean that Magneton has defeated all of the Elite Four plus Lance the Liar in a time of 55 minutes and 39 seconds. And that will give us a final Hall of Fame time of 55 minutes and 56 seconds in total. Now, Magneton has had a much smoother ride through Johto than I was expecting. We had a lot of luck in all of the right places, and even though it's not a fair direct comparison, the last time we did the Hall of Fame with Magneton we got through in 1 hour and 34 minutes. So there's already a huge saving on our original Magneton time. This is only half of the story though. There are still another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And now we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where we're going to go for a completely bizarre gym order for Magneton. I want to try and play to Magneton's strengths, so we're going to take them on in an order which I think will be most beneficial for this particular Pokemon. So we're going to bypass both Surge and Erica for now, and we're going to make a beeline straight for the power plant. And that's because I think both Surge and Erica will be a little bit tricky to take on quickly at the moment. So I think we'll take on Sabrina first, then Misty, then we'll go through Diglett's Cave, take on Brock and Blaine. We can do Janine at the same time there. Then we can think about the other gym leaders after we have done those. So this is Sabrina. She is our first Cantonian gym leader, a Psychic type specialist who leads with Espeon. We'll use Thunderbolt against the Espeon and we knock it down in 1. Up second is Mr. Mime. It's going to be another one-shot, and that just leaves Alakazam left to go. 3 one-shots to get us started here in Kanto. And that is Sabrina's badge in 59 minutes and 14 seconds. Let's get out of here and let us do the ever so fun Nuggets Bridge. But we will, as always, use this as a little opportunity to have a little catch up. And I want to talk to you all about the responses to the community post about the future of the channel. Now, first of all, thank you to everybody who put their thoughts down in that community post. It was very, very insightful and very, very helpful for me to figure out where the best direction for the channel is. Now, I do think Supermon is here to stay. It seems to have gone down an absolute treat, so I'm glad you're all enjoying it as much as I am. Now, when it comes to the timed series, we are simplifying things quite a bit. We've got our 4-move series, which is what we're doing now. This is going to be the one where we mostly focus on some of the Pokemon that are a little bit weaker, and then we will be returning to our classic challenges as well. So the traditional time challenges will be coming back, and we'll be focusing almost exclusively in the pre-recorded videos on our original 251 Pokemon in Gen 2. Now, that's not to say that the pre-recorded generation gap is going away forever, but from the end of this year it will be rested at least for the interim. We do have a few more backports I want to play as pre-recorded videos before we finish it for the time being though, and then the backports will be coming back as a stream exclusive series. So if you do like the backports, you'll always be able to catch either the live streams or the VODs. And now it is time for Misty, our second Cantonian gym leader. She led with Golduck that went down in one hit, and that brings us on to her Quagsire. We're probably going to two-shot this Quagsire, but it doesn't have any ground-type moves as far as I'm aware, and then the rest of the battle will be easy. We'll get rid of the Starmie, we will also one-shot the Lapras, and that is Misty defeated in 1 hour, 1 minute, and 49 seconds. Defeating Misty means we can now return the machine part as well. And I tell you one thing that Supermon has made me do, it's made me really think about the order in which we take on the Kanto gym leaders every single challenge, not just in Supermon but in the timed challenges as well. Because while it's good to have a set order for taking on the Cantonian leaders, sometimes it pays to vary the routing quite significantly, because it means you'll save time in the long run even if there is a little bit of extra movement. Because the amount of times we have done the Kanto gym leaders and we've gotten so close to one-shotting some of the Pokemon but it's been ranges, means that if we'd have played smarter and if we'd have done a different order, we probably would have gotten through quicker. Just wanted to see how much we did there, by the way, against the Snorlax. Just over half. That's not bad, all things considered. Now, because we're against the clock, we are going to have to skip 3 drill today, unfortunately. And instead we're going to head into our next gym together. Seems very, very weird that we're going to be confidently taking on a rock and ground type gym when we are an electric type with a 4 times weakness to the rock type. But Hidden Power Water is absolutely our ticket to a very easy battle against Brock. We'll start off with his rock grounds and we will one-shot all of them with a quad super effective Hidden Power Water, and then we will swap to Thunderbolt for the Omastar and the Kabutops. What a very nice and simple Brock battle there. Time of 1 hour, 3 minutes and 39 seconds for the Boulder Badge. So that means we can now start our journey towards Cinnabar Island, where we will be taking on Blaine in just a moment. Before we do that though, we'll grab this rare candy and we will have a little chat with Blue. That will send him all the way back to Viridian Gym. We'll be taking him on a little bit later on, but we have to get through the rest of the gym leaders first. And our next gym leader is living temporarily in the Seafoam Islands. It's time for Blaine. He is a fire-type specialist who leads with Magcargo. We one-shot the Magcargo with Thunderbolts, and it's going to be one-shots all around in this gym. Nothing at all Blaine can do. Rapidash isn't rapid enough for us, and we defeat Blaine to obtain the Volcano Badge in 1 hour, 4 minutes and 55 seconds. And then it is a very, very quick surf up to Fuchsia City, where we're going to cross off another Cantonian gym leader. This time it is going to be good old Janine. We like Janine here on the channel. She's a little bit useless, but that is what makes her endearing. She leads with Crobat that goes down with the Thunderbolt, and we're just going to keep hold of the A button for this battle. There is absolutely nothing Janine can do with any of her Pokemon. She'll make a choice whether she wants to waste her money or not on a dire hit, and she does not this time. That is Janine defeated, 1 hour 5 minutes and 38 seconds for the Soul Badge. And now we are very quickly running out of gym leaders. I think we'll get Erica out of the way next. Hopefully Tri-Attack and Thunderbolts will be strong enough to take care of most of her Pokemon. As long as we can get through the Tangler, I'll feel fairly confident. That Tangler is the peskiest of all her Pokemon because it can send you to sleep. And that is a real time sink in a solo challenge. The rest of the time it doesn't really matter if we're 1 or 2 shotting because I don't think she can status us quite as hard. So let us now engage Erica in battle and we will see what we can do. We'll start with the Thunderbolt against the Tangler, we get rid of it in 1 shot. We grow to level 66 and we will use Thunderbolt against the Victory Bell as well. We're just going to continue using Thunderbolt for the most part, but I do want to use a Tri-Attack against the Blossom just to see if we could knock it out a little bit quicker, but we couldn't. And there goes the Jumpluff. That's the Rainbow Badge, all acquired in 1 hour 7 minutes and 21 seconds. That means it's time for a trip into Vermilion City, where we will take on Surge. He is guarded here by Gentleman Gregory, so we'll have to dispose of him first. 2 1-shots is the order of business there. And now let us take him on. This is Surge. He is an electric type specialist, much like us, and he leads with Raichu. We'll use a hidden power against the Raichu, and we don't 1-shot it. I wonder if that was a low roll. Up next is Electrode number 1. We can 1-shot that. Then here comes Magneton, much like us, but we are 26 levels higher than his. We have a hidden power for the second Electrode, and now we are probably going to go for Tri-Attack against this Electabuzz. We burn it, we don't quite knock it out with the burn though, so we are going to have to take an extra turn there. Growing up to 67 though, and we obtain the Thunder Badge. Having the Thunder Badge means there is just 1 gym leader left to go. It is of course Blue of Viridian City, and quite honestly, I think he might be a fairly simple gym leader. We have enough coverage for most of his Pokemon. The only one I'm really worried about is the Executor. If we get Leech Seeded, it could be over and a little bit scary, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. So let's now engage Blue in battle. He is our final gym leader, and he leads with Pidgeot. We know we're going to have an easy time against Pidgeot. We can 1-shot it with Thunderbolt. Up next is going to be Executor. We'll go for Thunderbolt again. Leech Seed into a swap is a little bit mean there. We'll go for a hidden power now. That does knock it out. Up again is the Executor. We will finish it off with a Thunderbolt. Here comes Arcanine. We can use Thunderbolts. We'll get rid of it straight away. If we can 1-shot Arcanine, we can 1-shot Alakazam. That just leaves Gyarados left to go. Even Leech Seed could not save Blue. We grow to level 68 and we obtain the Earth Badge in 1 hour 9 minutes and 43 seconds. That means we can now have a little chat with Professor Oak. We will unlock Silver Cave, where we will take on our final battle of the challenge, where we face Red. So it does all come down to this. We are resetless up to this point. Let's park ourselves in front of Red, and we'll take a look at our stats before we take him on. We've just used 3 rare candies, so we are level 71 with 190 HP. We're holding the leftovers, and our 4 moves we chose at the start of the challenge are Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Water, Rain Dance, and Tri-Attack. We've got 144 in attack, 108 in defense, 232 in special attack, 161 in special defense, and a 158 in speed. Now, if you do like knowing the stat experience, we have 26,000 in HP, 37,000 in attack, 30,000 in defense, 34,000 in speed, and 41,500 in special. So let's see what happens. This is Red, and he does of course lead with Pikachu. We'll start off with a Tri-Attack against Pikachu, and we have burnt it. We've not been paralysed by the Pikachu either, and that brings us on to Espeon. Espeon goes straight for Reflect as we use our first Thunderbolt. Second one knocks it out, and up third is going to be Venusaur. I think for the Venusaur we're just going to keep on persevering with Thunderbolt as well. We will do the Rain Dance Shuffle just in case he does want to do a switch. That has now paralysed the Venusaur as well, so we will continue using Thunderbolt. A nice crit there knocks it out. Here comes Snorlax. We're going to start with a Thunderbolt. He will go for Amnesia. We will go for Tri-Attack next. See if we can get a status condition off on this bear. As long as, I was about to say, as long as we don't get paralysed, we're in with a good shout. But we're taking a reset because he is rest looping. First reset of the challenge is always annoying, especially when it comes to the Snorlax. Same opening as last time, but this time we did use Thunderbolt. Back onto the Espeon we go, and he's gone for Psychic turn 1. Interesting. That means we have taken a lot of damage, and we are back on to the Venusaur. We're going to go for a Tri-Attack. We've paralysed the Venusaur. That means this thing can barely hit us. He's going straight for Solar Beam as well, and unfortunately he did get a Solar Beam off. However, we are back onto the Snorlax. We will use our turn 1 Thunderbolt. We've paralysed it, but he has gone for Amnesia. We're going to keep on using... We've been paralysed now. We're not getting much luck here so far, but it is only reset number 2. Charm has failed this time, and Red is in a healing loop for his Pikachu. Let's move back onto the Espeon at full health this time. Critical hit is nice to see. That does bring us back onto the Venusaur. A double crit is even better. We will take 1 turn of Solar Beam damage here, but it doesn't do too much, and we are back on to the Snorlax. Now I think this time I'm just going to try and brute force with Tri-Attack. We've paralysed it straight off the bat. I was kind of hoping for a burn or a freeze, but we will see what we can do here. Hopefully we will get a critical hit, or this thing will be fully paralysed one of these days, but it didn't happen on that occasion, so we'll just keep on trying. He swapped the Pikachu this time. That's very, very weird. We will take a single turn of damage there from the Espeon, and we are on to the Venusaur. I'm very confused. He never swaps his Pikachu out. We'll use a Tri-Attack, and then we will start the rain. Try and dampen Solar Beam as much as we can, if you'll excuse the pun. And now we'll get on to Thunderbolting. The Venusaur being fully paralysed is absolutely fine. We can get rid of it, and up next is Pikachu again for no good reason. Why are you back out? We'll Tri-Attack you. Thunder has missed because we are in the sun, and we will two-shot it. Back up to full health for the Snorlax. Tri-Attack, please do something useful. It has not. Please on turn 2. Paralysis, please don't paralyse back. Let us continue using Tri-Attack and just hope for the best. He has gone for rest. That is very, very annoying. We're just going to need to brute force this thing. We do outspeed it. Hopefully we will have enough Thunderbolts to get through it. He has woken up and he's not paralysed us now. Please freeze. Please freeze. Nope. Rest loop. We try again. That Snorlax is the bane of our life when we are a special attacker, isn't it? We've been charmed this time. We're just going to take a quick reset. But we will keep on trying. Eventually, we will get the right status condition against that Snorlax. There's not much else we can do, really, honestly. I've thought of other strategies and nothing really would be the right play, I don't think. Back onto the Venusaur we go. We will start off with a Thunderbolt here. We're just going to keep on brute forcing it. We'll go for our Rain Dance to try and prevent Solar Beam doing too much. And we will then keep on Thunderbolting. The Reflect has faded. We don't really care about Sunny Day at the moment. And now we can move on to the Snorlax once more. We're going to use Tri-Attack, see what happens. 2 turns of Tri-Attack, please do something. 3 turns of Tri-Attack, please do something. 4 turns of Tri-Attack, please do something. 5 turns of Tri-Attack. And we are paralysed. This battle is starting to get frustrating. I seem to remember it was just as frustrating, actually, when we did the original Magneton challenge. That is a blooming critical hit. That is not on at all. He's done the swap again. Interesting. Are we going to get crit again? And no, we're not. And no Spadef drop. Onto the Venusaur we go. We will use a Tri-Attack. Critical hit is nice. He's not gone for Sunny Day this time either. That means we will hopefully get rid of it in just a couple of turns. Here comes Pikachu for no good reason. Let us use the Thunderbolt, see what happens. We've paralysed it, and we have not been paralysed back. He's getting caught in a healing loop now on his Pikachu, and we will just keep using Thunderbolts to get rid of it. If we can get through the Snorlax unparalysed, we will be fairly okay. We'll use Tri-Attack. We've paralysed that Snorlax. I was hoping for a freeze, really. A freeze is what we are after. A critical hit is nice, though. This could be the run. Flamethrower, please don't f***ing knock us out. And it was after I swore that I decided to abandon the live voiceover for this red battle. We will do it in post. We had pretty much the same opening as we had for all the other red battles, where it was a couple of Thunderbolts to get rid of the Pikachu. Reflect came out on the Espeon and he started hitting us fairly hard with Psychic. And up next was Venusaur. We used Thunderbolts, we got a crit on turn 1. We then did the Rain Dance Shuffle to make sure that Solar Beam didn't hit too hard. We swapped back to Thunderbolts, Solar Beam did barely anything at all, and we finally knock it out. Here comes the Snorlax. I decide to go straight for Tri-Attack instead of doing the turn 1 Thunderbolts. I just want to brute force this thing until we get the freeze, and it finally happened. That allowed me to set up the rain for a turn against the Snorlax. It stayed frozen as it got into the red and was knocked out. We were on nearly full health for the Charizard. Flamethrower did a little bit of damage, but we knocked it out in 1. The last Pokemon was Blastoise. We knock it out, and we defeated Red in 1 hour 21 minutes exactly. And that time of 1 hour 21 puts us slap bang in the middle of our 4 moves leaderboard. Slower than Beedrill, but faster than some Flora. And I think that is a fair placement for our Magneton, all things considered. If we take a look at the main leaderboard, we are in 60th place overall. We are slightly slower than Articuno, but slightly quicker than Swellow. Once again, I think that's a fair placement for our Magneton. And we didn't get into the 2-hour mark, unlike the last time when we ran Magneton. In fact, you'll probably be able to see it in 166th place on this page of the leaderboard. But now, as the rest of the leaderboard does play out in the background, I'm going to say thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more videos just like this, click the subscribe button. If you want to see the challenges early, then please do think about becoming a HM friend. Any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. But until next time, I will say thank you all so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure as always, and I will catch you all very, very soon.